Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Thursday the 5th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be outside, to be alive, and be around. So, got this morning, stupid early, got the dogs outside, trying to keep them quiet. My lovely bride is back home finally, after being out at Teddy's for, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 nights, something like that. She's been out there watching that dog, and glad to have her back. It was nice to have her there. I still slept like crap, which I thought the reason I wasn't sleeping very good was because she was not here in the bed with me, and turned out not to be the case. I don't know if my body's just that far out of whack or what it is, but it didn't get a lot of sleep. So God this morning might have been a little bit worried about how keeping the dogs quiet, worried about her not being able to get her good sleep in, but it is what it is. So I got up, got the dogs outside, got them kind of quiet as I could. I got one little yippy miniature Doberman pinscher that should be going home. I think Saturday goes home. And so I got him outside, trying to keep him quiet, just ridiculous. So I got the puppy in finally. He came in. Basically, I was able to let him play with Bruce for a minute, got him outside, got the dogs playing, trying to tell, they can play if they can't bark. It's like 5:40 in the morning. I can't have you guys out here barking all the time. So the miniature pinscher barked some and whatnot, and the whole thing there, and whatever. So we kind of chilled back and forth. I ended up in the hot tub for a little bit. Had to get out a couple times, kind of yelled at the dogs, like, knock it off, be quiet, and stuff. So I was in and out of the hot tub a few times, stuff. Finally, my bride got up. I was in the hot tub for a long time. She was slow getting up today. Not a real big deal. I think she was up and doing things. She just didn't tell me she was up, which I've since told her, I'm like, please tell me when you get up, because I can let the dogs make noise and we can, deal with different things we can do. So she got around. My original plan today was to go run my vending route, which I thought if I left here like 6 or a little bit after the morning, I'd be able to get my route done and stuff and get back here within the hour or so when she leaves for work. And she reminded me last night that that cannot happen because she needs a car to run up to Port Orange to her son's house. They're doing a group Skype call, or I'm not sure if it's Zoom or whatever it is, but a group conference call. She wants to be there with him at the house there and stuff, so she wanted the car and whatnot, plus she had to leave early, so it wouldn't really do the benefit of being gone, and me being gone and her watch the dogs longer to make it a shorter time of them being alone. So went ahead, said, hell with it, I'll try and figure it out and do it tomorrow instead, which just wasn't a big deal, but it just kind of threw a monkey wrench in my plans. So ended up hanging out here throughout the morning and stuff, got some things taken care of, nothing real major. Had to run up to take my father-in-law to the doctor. He needed to go get some blood work done. So I went up there with him, picked him up. He kind of complained about me being there early. He's like, you're early? I'm like, yes, I hate being late stuff, and if I'm driving you, you're going to be early to things. Just get over it, because I've asked him what time I pick you up. Your appointment's at whatever. He'll tell me like 8 minutes before. And I'm like, you should already be in the office and signed in 8 minutes before your appointment. What the hell are you talking about stuff? And every time I've picked him up at his time, he's late. And it's disrespectful at those times. It just makes you, in my opinion, it looks like you're an asshole. You don't care about anybody else. It's just about you. And my big fear is he's going to get there, he's going to show up 8 minutes late, whatever, and they're going to kick him back a few appointments, and I'm sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for him to get in because they gave away his appointment to somebody else. So my hope is he'll show up, say he has a 9 o'clock appointment, I get in there at 8:45, the 8:45 appointment didn't show up, they'll just walk him right in and give him their spot and then swap them around, so we're in and out of there a lot quicker. But I just don't want to have to sit and wait for him for 2 or 3 hours or miss the appointment completely because he was late and I have to make a whole nother trip back up there. So I went ahead, dropped him off the blood work. He was in there about a half an hour, walking in, no mask, no nothing. I'm like, God, you should know this by now. I also have to tell him to put on a seatbelt every time he gets in the truck and we go to leave. I'm like, put on your seatbelt. He's like, oh, I'm like, okay, whatever. Senior stuff. So he comes back out wearing a mask, so I assume they must have gave him one in there. So everybody else wearing a mask, but nope, not him, just walking in, no mask. About a half an hour later, he comes out. I was sitting out in the truck with the puppies and stuff. Had the dogs with me. No shade in the parking lot anywhere, so we're just sitting out in the sun. Just, it is what it is. So it wasn't horrible. It was kind of hot. So got that done. Got back in the truck. I asked him. I said, "Hey, you want to go try and pick up your record player? Is it fixed yet?" Blah blah. He said, "Nope. They hadn't worked on it yet." Asked him where else he wanted to go. Is there any place you want to be? Now I can't really go in with him unless it's a dog-friendly place. Gotta get dogs with me, but nothing's stopping me from taking him somewhere, kind of thing, and dropping him off and waiting for him and stuff. And if I can find shade, it's a lot better. But and I got dogs. I'm fine. The dogs are with me. There's no big deal. It's not got to rush home for nothing. We're all good to go. But nope, nothing happened. So went ahead, know where he wanted to go, nothing he had to do. So I was like, okay, cool. So I headed back. I had a new dog request come in today while I was up there dealing with him, and they want to drop the dog off between like 2 and 4. And I told him that's fine. We can do that stuff. It's just, it needs to be closer to the 4 o'clock mark because I'm taking my father, basically father-in-law to the doctor and stuff and whatnot. And they said 100% understand, no big deal. So they texted me and they're heading over. I headed back. Everything went well. I basically got back to the house, chilled out. Got a text them saying they're on their way. I was like, cool, no big deal, everything's good there. went ahead and they came to drop the dog off. Dog went fine, not a big deal at all. A little bit, kind of, she gets a little bit growly at stuff. She gets a little bit territorial, and then she's scared of everything. So she lashes out in anger because she's so scared of everything, unfortunately. So had a little bit of issue. We were outside, and one of the little dogs was out there running around. It was actually a dog that's on lead, tied to the side of the yard over there. And it's about a 30-foot lead, so it's really not on lead. It's just, it likes to hide underneath the deck, and it will not come when you call it. And I'm afraid it's a pain in the butt. So it gets either in one of the playpens for him, or it gets put on lead when it's out here in the yard, because again, I just don't want to have the hassle factor. I had one time, I had a Boston Terrier, I think it was, that wouldn't listen, wouldn't come back, and I was chasing her, trying to get it back in the house. So it wouldn't come in the house, wouldn't treats, wouldn't nothing, and it actually jumped over one of my fences. Luckily, I have a double fence system, and I was like, son of a bitch. So I actually was, and I got in the second gate part, the little gapped area. I actually dove at it like Pete Rose coming to the home plate, grabbed the dog to hold him down, and the dog bit the shit out of me to the point I ended up in the ER over it. When I was finished, it was ridiculous. So I was flying out later that day. Those of you who watch this video often, you would have already heard the story, but I actually flew to Iowa, and then a day or two later, my hand was so swollen up and so infected, I had to go to the emergency room and get a antibiotic shot, and all, but it was ridiculous. So all kinds of problems. So I don't like leaving dogs that don't listen, don't come, off leash. So even this one here, I have to like walk the leash to it, the tie out. I have to like stand on it and then walk towards it to get the dog to come. The dog won't even pick it up. It's not a great dog. So probably the last time I watched the dog. I've watched it a couple times in the past, and they only see the dog like once a year, and they come down here on vacation, and I just think, oh, it's all that time it's over. I'm so over it. So, and they keep telling me, oh yeah, it's so much better now, and it's never been better. It's like 3 times every time. Oh yeah, he's way better. He's so much better. No, he's not. He pees on anything now. It's just, he's a pain in the ass. So I had that dog here, and the new one went after, and the little one's screaming, yelling. I don't know if the little one was screaming, yelling because it just screams and yells and barks and stuff and runs, and this one was chasing behind it because it thought it was playing, or if it was going aggressive. I don't know what it was. So this one got a good scolding and hasn't been back over near that dog since. So everything went fine. They weren't even touched each other, but it was just that whole, oh crap, now we got this to worry about. So got that all fun there and stuff. Yay! And then went ahead, got my run in, got my shower, got all cleaned up, everything's ready to go there. Was chilling out, had a meet and greet later on this evening. Karen got home from work, and I said, here's where we're at. We got till 6:30 when they're coming to do the meet and greet with the dog. If you want, we can knock out some soup real quick and have a real fast meal, or wait till they leave and then eat afterwards and stuff. I said, the problem with it is they show up at like 7 instead of 6:30, then it makes dinner real late and stuff, as opposed to, because let's just eat now. So we ate real quick. Everything was good. They got here, and of course it's raining. So I'm trying to move dogs around and stuff. It's a pain in the butt. Got the dogs all put away, kind of thing, the best I could to kind of keep them quiet while we did the meet and greet. Meet and greet did not go well at all. Lady shows up with this gigantic, massive, fat dog that's just, and she got in the car. She's almost pulling her down. The woman has like no. Supposedly the dog was like has stage 4 cancer and stuff, and it's like dying almost. It has no energy. It's supposed to like just like a potato with legs right now and stuff. Literally almost pulls the woman down into the ditch. She almost falls. She can tell she's just one of those people that, not my personality type. I'd never want to go hang out with her, never take her kayak. I just don't want to be around this woman at all. And I almost right then told her, if you can't control your dog better than this, just go away. Like, this ain't gonna work. And gigantic, fat, unneutered male, this giant bully breed dog shows up, and I was like, what the hell? And I had to look at my wife's face like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we're gonna see how it goes stuff. Went ahead, blah blah. The dog's just not, it's literally, I had to take the leash from her because like she couldn't control her own dog. And I'm like, how sad is this? And I said, hey, let's make sure he pees outside and stuff, because I don't want to clean it up inside if he's marking, especially unneutered male. She's like, okay, yeah, and she just doesn't listen. She's one of the type of people that does not listen to nothing. And I'm like, no, give me the leash. We're not going to the house till I walk this dog right here. It's got to pee on something. I got to watch it pee before it comes to my house, because the dog clearly has some issues here and stuff. So I finally got the dog. She's like, what? I'm like, give me the leash. So I finally took her leash from her, came inside and stuff. Everything, I let the dog pee outside, brought the dog inside. Everything was going all right, but it wasn't great. And then the same stuff, and I told her, I said, hey, I'm getting ready to let Bruce out and stuff so you can meet my dog, and you need to have a seat, because they start playing and wrestling and stuff. I don't want you knocked down. You need to have a seat. And she's like, oh, I said, she goes, I don't want my dog's hurt. I said, my dog's never hurt a dog in his life. He's not going to hurt a dog. Just, you need you to sit down. You know, I said, the other option is you can leave right now if you want, because the dog's going to be around their dog, so I got to see how it reacts with my dog before your dog ever meets any of my other clients' dogs, because that's how shit works. No one's like, what? And I said, go sit down, or you can leave. And the woman's like, okay. So she walks in the living room and stuff. I go down the hall to get my dog, and I come back out, she's standing right there, and I'm like, bitch, I told you to sit down. And I almost at that point told Bruce to turn around and say, get out of my house. You can't listen, you can't follow directions, get out of my house. But I wanted to see how the dog reacted and stuff. And the dog starts trying to play, and the dog has not got a lot of energy. You can tell the dog's unhealthy, it's bloated, it's real giant, like it's not real in good shape. And it starts trying to play, and it's trying to play with Bruce, and it's trying to have fun, and she keeps trying to I'm like, holy crap. And I kept, everything I tell her to do, she was not listening. She's like, and my dogs, they're shoving it. Her dog and my dog shoving at each other. So she's like, oh, I'm like, what the hell? I said, yeah, I just don't think it's working. Her dog would not calm down. Just kept wanting to play, which is so sad. Because this dog clearly has been with this woman for like, I don't know, 7-8 years, and never, she goes, I've never really had another dog. So this dog spent 7-8 years, never been around other dogs at all. And I'm like, oh my God, this dog's had such a miserable life. I feel so bad for it. And I finally finished up, and her dog is like panting. He's like about to pass out, but just won't stop trying to play because he's so desperate for to interact with other dogs. And I feel horrible for this dog. And I finally said, "Yeah, this ain't gonna work. Like your dog's gonna pass out here. Like your dog, it wants to play so bad, and you don't interact with other dogs. It can't be here." And I hate doing it to people because I know that she's gonna be somewhere like at a vet clinic or somewhere kind of thing. I said, you need to get back on the website. You need to find somebody that does not have other dogs. Some of this dog can just be chill out. And she's like, yeah, I've never had him on a leash like last. It's been like 4 years since the dog got on a leash because the dog's at the backyard, runs free, and comes in the house, runs on the yard, lays down, comes back inside. I'm like, go find somebody else that have dogs. This dog literally just smelling where the other dogs have been in my house is losing its damn mind. This dog is so desperate for interaction with other dogs. And I'm just like, he's going to die here. Like, if you can't, especially in the backyard with other dogs here and stuff, that dog's literally going to try and chase and play. And I'm like, you got to go. You got to go right now. Like, this is over. You're not going to stay here. Your dog can't stay here. This is not good. Had you talked to me 4 years ago or 6 years ago or stuff, we would work through this whole thing, fine, but not now. It's not worth it. No way. And it was going to be like for days. I was like, no, what the hell? This whole thing, and she just wasn't listening. She's had a whole bunch of drama. She's that personality I do not enjoy. My thing is when I give you directions, I tell you how it's supposed to go for this meet and greet stuff, you have to shut up and listen to me. I know what I'm doing. I'm an expert in this. I've been doing this for years. I've got more interactions, more meet and greets where dogs and other dogs than probably anybody you'll ever meet in your life. I mean, short of like somebody like Cesar Millan, who's like, does this for a living and stuff, I guarantee nobody has actually basically processed more dogs meeting and greeting than me. It's impossible. I do it all the time. Hundreds of dogs a year. It's just all the time, constantly doing this stuff. I've been doing this for decades in my pet store for a decade. Like, I've met so many dogs like this. It's so easy to do if you follow my directions and listen, but you don't listen, you got to go. I can't. Your dog isn't great. Your dog's going to die of a heart attack. It wants to play so bad. So she finally left, and I was like, oh, thank God she's out of here. And it was just, I was so glad. Nope, not going to fit. Go away. I can't help you. And it was a really big thing a few months ago. I had a thing with my wife said she was overwhelmed by dogs. We had too many stuff. I would have just been like, yep, I'll figure it out. I'll keep the dog separate. I'll bend over backwards trying to help people because I've had other people not help me. I've had so many things in my life where I needed anyone to give me a hand and nobody offered to help so many times in my life that I don't want to be that guy who doesn't give that hand up to somebody. And I can't do it. Sometimes it takes too much out of me to do this for people. And this dog was going to literally mentally break me of dealing with this. And I was like, I can't do it. So sent her on her way. We watched a little more Netflix and stuff, chilled out, finally up on the patio, had myself a nice little cigar, got rid of that stress, and just tried to write that out of my life and forget that ever happened. But it's not. It's going to haunt me. I guarantee 3 months from now, it's going to pop back my memory of, God, I wonder what happened to that poor dog. And I'm going to be like, oh, I should have done more. But my thing is, if the owner was at least willing to listen, if the owner was at least willing to follow direction a little bit, we could have done a little something, maybe even brought the dog over for daycare a couple of times stuff before this day to try and let him have an hour or two here and see if he calms down and stuff. But no, she wasn't listening. She wasn't willing to follow directions at all. So just go away. I don't have time for bad owners. I barely have time to help bad dogs, but I cannot help bad owners. So that whole thing was over and done with. It was all fun and games, and it's all good to go. So finally headed back, headed to bed. Watched a little bit of Hulu in the bedroom. Corner Gas. We watched Corner Gas. We like that show. It's an old ass show, but we're watching. I think we're like on season 3 or something right now. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.